If you're a personal injury attorney and you're still marketing using billboards, you're doing your marketing completely wrong, especially in 2026. So today we're going to be covering how to set up a meta campaign, so Facebook, Instagram, so that way you can set this up, get it relatively on autopilot, and start to get new cases in on the daily for pretty cheap. So the first thing you're going to do is go on over to adsmanager.facebook.com and you're going to hop into your ad account. It should look like this. Now, you're going to have campaigns, ad sets, and ads. Your campaigns is going to be the folder. Your ad set is going to be your targeting, and your ads are going to be what sort of images and videos that you put in there. Don't worry about that too much right now. We'll get into it as we kind of work through this. So you're going to hit the create button. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is hit leads. This is going to be always the objective. Now, I always set up the manual leads campaign. One of the things that you're going to see with Meta all the time is they roll out new features. They have a new idea that they want to test. I personally don't want to be their guinea pig on their new features, so I don't use almost any of these, which we'll run through the ones that we go through. Now, for the new campaign name, you can name this whatever you want, whatever you're going to remember it by. Now, this is super important. You're going to be selecting campaign budget and not ad set budget. Basically, this is going to give Meta the control to determine which ads are going to be spending more and which are going to be spending less. So if you set ad set budget, that would be probably more so if you have like 10 pictures and you want each one to spend $5 a day. I personally don't care if one picture gets 5 or 10 or 20 or all of the budget. Doesn't matter to me. I just want the best results. And I don't believe that I'm smarter than Meta's software developers and engineers and their whole AI team and everything like that. So I give them the control on where to allocate that budget, and that's what the campaign budget is here. I personally would recommend a minimum of $100 a day. That's a really good starting point for you to start getting in some data, give enough data back to Meta to be able to allow their algorithms to optimize, but also not blowing the budget. So I would start there. Now, all of this is totally fine. We're going to go ahead and go to next right over here. Cool. Now, once you're in here, you're going to set up your ad set name. Now, for the ad set name, again, it doesn't matter. Something that you would remember it by. So for me, I would just do like ad 001 or something like that, just to make it super easy to do. Now, the conversion location. There's going to be different places that you can fill out a form, because whenever you're setting up a Meta ad to get somebody to fill out a form to let you know that they've been in an accident, what you're needing to collect is most likely going to be their name, their phone number. Email is nice to have, but not super important. And then you're going to probably want them to fill out a handful of questions. Now, I personally prefer to do this through a website, but you could do this through what's called an instant form, and that's going to be a form that's directly on Meta's website. So there you go. You have your instant form and then you have your Facebook page selected. Now, one thing that's going to be important is you're going to want to set up the instant form. I usually like doing that after I get this initial setup done. So we're going to scroll down a little bit here and we're just going to set up a few quick things. So we have the budget set to $100 a day. What I'm going to go ahead and do is set this to the next day. So today's February 17th. I'm going to set this to 12 a.m. Just because I told Meta, I want you to spend $100 a day. And if I'm starting it at 6:42 p.m., they're going to try to allocate that $100 in the next 5 hours. I don't want them to do that. I'd rather them just go through, be patient. Let's set it up at 12 and have the full day to allow it to spend. Now, as far as locations go, this is going to be pretty important. It depends on where you are, right? So like if you're in Texas, you would just select Texas here. Let's just do that as an example. Now, some guys will go through and try to make it so that they're just targeting Houston or just targeting Dallas or whatever it is. If you're willing to take cases in anywhere in the state, you should just do statewide. The cost per lead that you're going to be paying, so how much ad spend you have to put in versus how many leads you're getting back and what that cost is per person, is going to be substantially lower if you just choose the whole state. If you're able to practice in multiple states, I would also choose multiple states. So if you're in Texas and then also Florida, which we have a few people that are in multiple states, then you would select both. I would put them under the same campaign here and just allow Meta to optimize. If you're just in one, you would do one. Now, you can go through and select specific cities and towns and zip codes and whatever. I personally wouldn't do that if you're trying to generate MVA cases for yourself. Now here, this is one of the things that Meta has a suggestion on that you just want to make sure you skip. It says reach more people likely to respond. This is basically saying, hey, I know that you want to target Florida, but we have some people that might be in Tennessee that would match your criteria. Would that work for you? It's not going to work for you. So just uncheck that. Don't allow them to do anything except for your specific locations. Now for the minimum age, I would probably leave this at a minimum age of 18. You can go through and pre-select that if you want. For the languages, if you're doing Spanish running ads or a different language, you could also do that. Sometimes people will go through and do that. Here, I would just do an English ad, make it super simple. Now we're just going to keep scrolling down. Advantage Plus placements. So we're all under the ad set section here. This is going to be basically what platforms your ads are going to show on. So do you want them to be on Facebook? Do you want them to be on Instagram? Do you want them to be a feed or a story? So this is going to be which areas your ads are going to be shown. If you have a specific area, you would select this. I recommend just leaving it broad, letting Meta choose where it's going to go. Now we're going to go ahead and hit next. Cool. Now here, I like just numbering my ads. So like if I have at my first ad, I would just do ad 0001, and then I would do 0002 and so on and so forth. The important thing with all of these is they just need to be a unique identifier that you're able to look at it and say, okay, great, I know that this ad equals X, whatever it is. We already have our Facebook page selected right over here. If you have an Instagram account, you can go ahead and press connect account. Now under the multi-advertiser ads, we're gonna go ahead and uncheck that. Now where it says instant form, you could go ahead and press create form, and this is where you're going to go through and create your form. So here I would just do MVA cases. And now initially I would just do more volume, just trying to get more people to fill out the form. And then as you start to get people filling out the form and you give some data to Meta, you could go through and qualify a little bit harder. Now for the delivery, I just leave it as optimized. And then for the intro, here I just uncheck this and go straight into questions. Now, the questions that I would personally be asking is, of course, you can ask for email. That one's fine. That's kind of optional. I would probably do that more on the intake call. Now, for the fields, I would definitely collect phone number. That's going to be number one. We obviously want their full name. And then here for the answers, you could say 0 to 30 days, 1 month to 3 months, 3 months to 6 months, 6 months plus. You probably don't want anybody that's going to be 6 months plus. If you really are willing to take somebody that's within a year and under, if you could have an additional section that says over a year and then filter those people out. So as an example, let's just say that this is what I was going for. Last 30 days, 2 to 3 months ago, 4 to 6 months ago, 6+ months ago. I would try to keep this no more than a few options. Ideally 3, but if you have to go 4 or 5, great. But don't make this like 20 different options. Let's just say I wanted cases that were 6 months and newer. So you could go through and have all of these as your predefined yes paths. And then the 6+ months ago is going to be people that get disqualified. The whole point of this is we're trying to disqualify people because we don't want those people as leads anyways. Calling them is going to be completely pointless. And then we also don't want to tell Meta that's the type of people that we want. So I'm going to use this as just a disqualifying question. Now, whenever you have this section, thanks, you're all set. I would do call business and then add your phone number in. So you can add in your phone number, whatever that is. Thank you. Give us a call now below. So they're going to see that call to action right over there. And then they're also going to see a call business button right over here where they could give you a direct call. The reason I like this is because obviously you're going to get this information sent directly to you, which is good. And then you could go through and call them. But if you could have them call your firm right away while they're on the phone and they actually have enough time to fill out something like this, you should have them call. Now, to filter out any sort of disqualified questions, the way that you would do this is you would turn on conditional logic right up here. And then whenever you scroll down and you go to your questions, you could choose which page they go to. So you could say, great, whenever they fill out this question, you're going to go to the next question if you have any follow-up questions, or you could do submit the form, and then you would have your end page. And then you could do this for all of the questions below. And I would go ahead and for this last one and just close the form. So then that's going to create a separate end page number 2 for non-leads. So this is going to be page number 1 for leads, and then page number 2 for non-leads. And that just filters them out. So if they say last 30 days, then it's going to say, great, what's your name, your phone number, your email. If you say, oh, I was in an accident 6+ months ago, then it's going to say, thanks, this probably isn't for you. So if we go back over here to the ending, you can see now we have a second page that is for non-leads. Now for the call to action, you could just send them to the website to make it easy, but I wouldn't really collect any of that information at all. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and hit create form. Now you're almost done. The last thing that you're going to do is press setup creative, and then you're going to press either image or video ad. Now I'm just going to upload a photo of a dog as an example real quick, so that way you can see what this looks like. Now the primary text is in. This is just 2 quick examples, but the main things that you need to remember with the primary text is you should call out exactly who this is for immediately. So you can see in my first primary text, it says injured in a car accident. Obviously, if you weren't injured in a car accident, it doesn't apply to you. Don't pay attention to it. If you were, then this is something you should pay attention to. I also like having it right at the beginning because I feel like it gives Meta a little bit of additional feedback on who this is going to be for. Same thing here. A car accident can turn your life upside down. Very, very simple. Now, Meta is going to give you a few different tailored persona options. These sometimes are good. Usually I'll just read through these, and if I liked this one, like injured in a car accident, perfect. Okay, that sounds good. Maybe I read this one and looks good, whatever. Now, same thing here with the headline. The headline should also call out the person directly. So let me go ahead and fill this out real quick. Cool. And there you go. Injured in a car accident, get your help with your accident today. There's also going to be some additional options down here, which if they're good, then you can add them in. Get compensated after a car accident, could be good. Get the help you need, too general. Don't let medical bills pile up. We already said that. Recover with peace of mind, again, too general. So I would leave that. Let's go ahead and change the call to action to learn more. And then we're going to hit next. And it's going to give you some image generation options. Again, this is Meta just giving you a bunch of AI ideas. Again, I don't use any of those. Now down here, it's also going to give you options to enhance text or translate text or add overlays or whatever. These are all just different AI options. I'm just going to go ahead and hit done. So now we can see our ad right over here. Injured in a car accident, medical bills, and missed work piling up fast. And you can see our image right over there. Obviously, with something like this, I'll cover creatives in a completely separate video because that would be just so much to cover here. But you would go through and add in whatever your creative is. Whenever they hit learn more, they're going to open up the form. If they fill out any answers that aren't aligned with what you're wanting, then you could go through and filter those people out. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and hit publish. Perfect. Now that first ad is uploaded. What I like doing is adding at least 5 different creatives in here. So what you're going to do that is hit the action menu right over here, quick duplicate. Now we're going to scroll up to the top over here where it says the name, change this to 2. Scroll down to the media section and delete the media and then re-upload the next photo. And then you're just going to rinse and repeat that process until you have 5 different images or videos in there. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down below. Happy to answer anything that you might be confused about. And then also, if you want me to build out a full video on how to do creatives, just go ahead and leave a comment down below. That's going to be it for this one, though. I'll see you guys on the next video.